Hello, folks. Welcome to the Mindset Artistry Podcast. I'm your host, Dave DiPaolo. This is episode number 17. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the Mindset Movement. Today, we're going to talk about not letting fear control you. And this is so important in life. This is a little bit of a follow-up from last week. Again, I like continuations because I feel like sometimes there's some things that need to be talked about a little more thoroughly and dissected. And that's what I want to do. Last week, I did talk about, not complaining. That was a big part of it. But a lot of times when people do complain, it comes from fear. It comes from them being scared. It comes from them not being able to handle their emotions and the things that is going on around them, things that they consume and all these different things. And a lot of it's fear-based. A lot of people live in this perpetual state of fear, and it's because they invite that in their life. It's because they let it consume them. It's because they let it control them. And that's what we're trying to avoid here. We do not want to let fear control us, because fear leads to worry, it leads to stress, it leads to, holding you back, not letting you accomplish some things that you want to do, not making you, try to achieve great things, strive for greatness, strive for excellence. It'll keep you there. It'll keep you right there at average or less. It'll keep you right there at, not moving forward, stagnant. And we don't want that, right? Like, we want to have a good mindset. We want to have a positive mindset. We want to have a growth mindset, an abundance mindset. But what we don't want to do is live in fear, because that's going to hold you down. That's going to give you a negative mindset. That's going to give you a victimhood mindset and all these other bad qualities that you can have, and you don't want that, right? So you have to be conscious of this. You have to be conscious of knowing fear and all these different things. When they get into you, they consume you, and it's like a sickness. It's an illness. It will damage everything inside of you and everything around you. It definitely does. And a great quote I love quotes. And again, going back to the Stoics, we suffer more often in imagination than we do in reality. That's from Seneca, another great Stoic. There's so many great quotes, and this is one, and this is so damn true. Like, we suffer and we make ourselves suffer with the imagination of things that will never happen, with the imagination that bad things are going to happen. I'm afraid of this. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to try to achieve this or go for this because I'm afraid, or I'm afraid of all these things that are going around, violence that's out there, all the stuff that's going on in the world, society, this and that. And we get afraid of these things, and we invite this into our life, and we live in this state of fear. Like, some people don't even want to leave the house because they are so afraid of what's going on out there in the outside world. That is a horrible way to live. Okay, so many people are so afraid of just everything around them, and they're in fear of maybe trying to take a step out of their comfort zone to achieve great things. People are so afraid to think outside the box. So many people are afraid to speak their mind. So many people are afraid to show the real who they are, the real person, right? The list goes on and on about what people think, and it's not good. It's not a good way to live. I've seen statistics out there that 99% of the things that you are afraid of will never happen. Okay, I've seen this stat also with 85% of the things that you are afraid of will never happen. Now, look, I don't know which one it actually is, but if it's between 99 and 85, it's a pretty damn high number of the things that we are afraid of that will never, ever, ever actually come to fruition, right? And look, when you think about it, they say we have 6,000 thoughts in our mind, in our brain every single day. So yeah, and a lot of that is worry and fear. And if you think about it, think of all the things that you were so afraid of in your life, right? Think of all the things that you were so worried about in your life. And I can guarantee most of it probably never happened, right? We get bogged down and we get afraid of these things that are never going to happen. And it consumes you, it debilitates you, and again, it just builds a wall in front of you for you to never get through, never, want to accomplish great things, to never have more success, to never live to your actual real abilities, right? To never live to your true potential, because you're so stuck in this world of fear, and you have to get out of that. And it starts with having a good mindset. It starts with being conscious of this, though, right? And it starts with understanding that the things that you're afraid of, where you're hearing it from, who's telling it to you, who you're listening to. You got to be really mindful of that, okay? So don't listen to people who never accomplished anything great in life, that are telling you, no, don't do that. You shouldn't do that. What if this happens? Aren't you afraid if this happens? What if you fail? They're the people you don't want to listen to, okay? Because they're in the situation that they're in because they listen to themselves. They listen to the fear of all that stuff themselves, okay? Once you stop worrying about what other people think and what they're going to tell you and you know, all these like fear-based things like, oh, don't do that, you should be worried. Well, what if you fail? Do you have a plan B? Like, well, don't leave the job you're at. Now you have a good job. Why would you want to go do this? Why do you want to stop what you're doing and do something new, right? Like, don't listen to these people. Okay, they don't know what you have, you know, deep down inside of you. They don't know what you really want to do in life. They don't know what your heart is set on. Don't let these people shatter your dreams. Don't let these people kill your ambition. Okay, and we do that a lot. And that fear of the unknown, that fear of, you know, what if I do fail, that keeps a lot of people behind. And most people never really accomplish the things that they want to in life, and they get stuck. They get stuck in a job or an occupation that they don't love. They get stuck in a job or an occupation that there's no growth. They get stuck in a job or an occupation where, you know, they're just constantly unhappy. And to go do something like that every single day that brings you no joy, no happiness, that's a tough way to live, okay? And look, I understand there's responsibilities. I understand that you have obligations. You know, I understand, especially if you have a family and there's someone, you know, that you have to pay for and support. I get all that, you know, but there's ways around that. There's ways, do things on the side. There's a way to create more time in your life by better time management, waking up earlier, staying up later. There's plenty of different things that you can do, transition into a different life, to transition into a different career or business. Don't get stuck. Don't get somewhere where you are unhappy, because you're going to look back one day and you're going to regret that. You're going to look back one day and say, I wish I would have done this. You're going to look back one day and say, I shouldn't have listened to those people that told me I couldn't do it. I shouldn't have listened to those people that, you know, projected their fears and, you know, their weaknesses on me when I know I could have done it. I knew I had what I needed to do to get that done, right? And listen, you may fail, right? Look, there's a high likelihood you actually might fail. That's part of it, right? But at least you'll know you tried, and you'll learn the things that you need to maybe change or do differently the next time for you to accomplish that, for you to achieve that, right? And that's what most people don't understand. Failure is part of life. You are going to fail at things, okay? But from that failure comes things that you're going to learn, and you're going to know, I got to do this better. I got to educate myself. I got to work on my skills. I got to do this. And then the next time that you try again, you're more equipped, right? So a lot of people always call losses L's. Oh, you lost, you did this, you failed. See, I call those L's, I call those lessons. You should take those lessons, figure out what you need to do better, figure out what you need to change, and then go back and get it done. That's how it's really done. The most successful people out there, probably most of the people that you follow, most of the people that you look at for motivation, and you see, you know, what they have and you want that, they failed over and over and over and over and over in their lives. And I've done podcasts about this. And look, it's plain and simple. Winners have lost in their life, and they learned from it, got better, and then they went back and won. That's just how it is. No one just comes out the gate and never experienced any loss, never experienced any failure. That's just not the way it works, right? You take those losses, you take that failure, you come back, you get better, and then you go back and you win. That's how it's done. That's how winning is done. That's how, you know, accomplishing great things is done. Plain and simple. You know, that's one side of it. And that's, you know, when you talk about personal development, personal excellence, all these different things, wanting to accomplish great things, having goals, having targets, this is big. So stop listening to people. Stop listening to people who've never done what you want to do. Stop listening to people who've never actually even accomplished anything great in their life, because they're at average for a reason. They are less than average for a reason, okay? And it's mean. It sounds, a little abrasive, but it is. It is what it is. Some people are where they are because of the decisions that they've made in their life and the decisions that they haven't made in their life, okay? Don't do that. Don't fall into that. Don't listen to them. Go do what you want to do. Get out there, accomplish what you want to accomplish. Shoot for the stars, shoot for what you want to do, and you'll get there if you do that and you stop listening to other people projecting their bullshit on you, okay? That's one side of this. Going back to fear, and I want to talk about this. A lot of the fears that we have aren't all just associated with, the things that we want to accomplish in life. That's one side of it, but that is a super important thing that I want to talk about because I want people to understand that, because at the end of the day, that's mainly what this podcast is usually about: personal excellence, wanting to accomplish things, having a great mindset to do it. But, listen, there are other things around us, right? There are outside factors, right? There is the society around us, the environment around us, the political climate around us, the global world around us, all these different things. A lot of the fears that we have can come from that. We can fear different things that are going on. We could, look, the world's crazy right now. People can fear World War III might happen, right? We could fear pandemics. We can fear all these different things that are going around. But here's the thing. Okay, a lot of those fears, again, may never happen, right? Like we talked about that earlier. We get so afraid about these things. And again, going back to what I was talking about last week, a lot of these things are out of our control. A lot of these things we have zero control over. So why do we let it consume us? Why do we let that fear consume us? Okay, don't do it. It is what it is. Be as prepared as you can. Understand whatever it is, whatever comes, whatever happens, you're going to deal with it, because you have to deal with it when it happens, okay? But sitting here worrying about it, sitting here worrying about things that may never happen is a bad way to live. You can't live in that perpetual state of fear. I will say that a lot. And a lot of this comes from media. A lot of this comes from social media, okay? Here's the thing, and here's what I want you to understand. The news is free. Social media is free. And there's an old saying, anytime anything is free, you're the product, okay? And that is plain and simple. All these different news networks, these different social media platforms, they have agendas. They have obligations to their sponsors and their advertisers. They have bias, okay? So when you're listening to one side or the other, whatever side you fall on, okay, just know the information that they are telling you isn't because of, some virtuous idea of them wanting to inform you of what's really going on out there. They are giving you information that is biased. They are giving you information that is agenda driven, and they are giving you information that they are being told to give you, okay? And then the minute that they go outside the script, the minute that they start not telling you what they're being told to tell you, you'll see it. They get fired. They move to another network. They start a podcast. Okay? Like, we've seen it. And I'm not mentioning names. I'm not saying one side or the other, because you can look at both sides, and this is so damn true. All right? So just be mindful of everything that they're telling you. They are owned by someone. They are biased for a reason. They have agendas, they have propaganda, and all these different things. So the information that you are being fed is to get you upset, make you pick a side, make you be afraid, make you hate other people out there that are just like you, but maybe have some different beliefs than you. And it keeps everyone divided. It keeps everyone angry at each other, so that nothing really ever happens other than this divide, this anger, and all this other stuff. While other people out there that are of a different class continue to get richer and richer. And, George Carlin said it the best. It's a big club and you ain't in it. All right. So at the end of the day, all these people that you're fighting for, all these people that you're listening, they don't really have your best interest in mind. Okay. And, look, it's tough to hear that, because I know there's some some policies and some things that are near and dear to people's heart. But at the end of the day, you look at the elites, you look at these news organizations, who they are actually run by. And at the end of the day, they don't have your best interest in mind. They're not giving you this information because they want to help you. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. So I like to go off of the idea of govern yourself. Okay. Govern yourself to be a good person. Govern yourself to achieve for excellence. Govern yourself to prepare for whatever is going to come your way the best that you can. Okay. Be a good person. Be a helpful person. Be a good person in your community. Be a good person in society. Worrying about, how good of a person that you can be and helping others and the mark that you can leave in this country, in this world, that's more important than all this tribalism bullshit of what side you're on and listen to all these people who just push fear on you and give you agendas and propaganda to make you hate your fellow neighbors and Americans or whatever country you're in. Okay. I hate to get political. I hate to get into this stuff, but this is really what we need to worry about. We need to worry about being better people. We need to worry about helping each other. And when we do that, society will be better. When we are open-minded and we find common ground with people and we want to help each other be great and continue to progress forward with the intent of love and being a good person, that's the better way to go about this. All the crazy stuff that we're seeing out there and the riots and the political violence and hating each other and this person's this and unfriend me if you follow this or you believe this and all this other stuff. It was never this bad before, and the news and and social media is a big part of why it is as bad as it is right now. Okay. So worry about yourself. Don't live in fear. Worry about being a better person. Govern yourself. Worry about being the best version of yourself that you can be, and the world around you by default will be a better place. Okay? And I'm going to leave it at that. Stop living in fear. Stop letting fear control you. And when you change your mindset to understand that, when you change your mindset to stop worrying about things that will probably never come to fruition, it will help you advance. It will help you get better. It will help you proceed to shoot for excellence and be a better person and achieve great things in your life. That's it. See you guys next week. Thank you.